Hello and welcome back to another Theory Thursday. Today we are going over a tremendously important topic, the pentatonic scale. What is it? How do you build it? How do you find it? And how do you play it on guitar? That's what we're going over today. Instead of the usual 7-note scale that we're used to in Western music, we're taking away 2 notes and just focusing on 5. And not only is this important to Western music, but to the history of a lot of cultures all the way around the world. Okay? So, I think that's all I have to say about that. As always, if you've been enjoying these, please like and subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when new videos drop. Of course, you probably already know, new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, let's get to it. The pentatonic scale. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to another Theory Thursday. You can see things are a little bit different today. I'm not standing in front of a whiteboard. Instead, you see this blank white screen. This is my iPad, and I'm hoping this is going to make things a little bit clearer for everyone, so you don't have to squint and look at the whiteboard on my wall. So I'm going to try this out for today. If it works out, then maybe we'll just do this from now on. So today we are looking at the pentatonic scale. Okay? What the heck is it? Well, just to start off, not to mince words, but it's one of the most popular, famous, utilized scales in the world, okay? Not just Western music. This is a scale that has 5 notes, right? That makes sense. So we're looking at penta, which is 5. Tonic, which could go a couple different ways, right? Sound, tone, depending on your transcription. So we're looking at a collection of sounds, specifically 5, okay? As opposed to the typical heptatonic scale that we're used to that has 7 notes in it, right? That's your typical major scale, your typical minor, no matter what form of, natural, melodic, harmonic, right? We're all just used to 7-note scales, okay? So now we're looking at 5, and just to quote Leonard Bernstein, the universality of this scale is so well known that I'm sure you could give me examples of it from all corners of the earth, from Scotland, from China, from Africa, from America Indian cultures, from East Indian cultures, from Central and South America, Australia, Finland, etc., etc. He goes on to say this is a true musico-linguistic universal. End quote. Okay, so the importance of the scale cannot be understated. This is a scale that most civilizations throughout the world have come up with independently, right? They haven't taken this from another culture. They came up with this. So it's somehow innately human of us to come up with this scale. I always find that fascinating, okay? So what are the actual notes? How do you use it? And how do you play it on guitar? What's it look like? So let's start off with explaining how you find it. So there's 2 ways you can look at this. The first way is you can take whatever note you want to start on, right? Let's do C just to make it easy, right? That's our example scale. And you can go through the circle of fifths and find all the notes you need, right? So what's a fifth away from C? G. What's a fifth away from G? D. What's a fifth away from D? A. And from A, you have an E. Okay, now we're going to rearrange these so that they are in order on the keyboard. And we get C, D, E. Oops, almost messed that up. G and A. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it just repeats itself, just like the other scales we know. Okay, so this is what we would call a major pentatonic, specifically a C major pentatonic. Okay? So that's one way to do it. What's another way to do it? The kind of a backwards way to think about it is you can take whatever major scale you want to derive it from. So let's use C again. So I'm going to spell out the C major scale here. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And then it repeats and repeats and repeats, right? So you can do this with any major scale, just like you can do the circle of fifths trick with any major scale. But what we're going to do is we're going to omit two of these notes. They're going to be the fourth and they're going to be the seventh. Okay, so what are we left with? C, D, E, G, A. Okay, looks an awful lot like what we just got here. Okay, so the exact same outcome, just two different ways to do it. I have always done it this way with the major scale, just because when you're learning your keys and your scales and everything, I mean, these things are so ingrained in my mind that for someone to ask me, well, what's a G major scale? I can get that right off the bat. Whereas if you say, okay, start on a G and go up in fifths, and then once you get 5 notes, rearrange them so that they're in concert order, right? So it's just two different ways to do it. The gist of it is we're talking about fifths here. It's a scale of 5 notes, and it is so pleasing to the human ear that civilizations have come up with it independently. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. After I got done filming, I realized I never played the scale for you guys. So I never had it so you guys could hear it in the whole video, and I didn't realize until after I was done filming it. So this is me after the fact putting this in here just so you can hear what it sounds. So this is just a free piano app I got on my iPad, but it'll serve its purpose. So let's do the C. So we know it's C, D, E, G, A. That's the major pentatonic. So here's what it sounds like. One little mess up there. So that's the C major pentatonic. Now let's do the same notes, but I'll start on A. So this will be the A minor pentatonic. Okay, so there's the minor version. You also may have figured this out on your own if you ever mess around with a keyboard. But if you play all the black keys, that is a G flat or F sharp major pentatonic. Check this out. Right? Pretty cool, huh? And so that's the major version. If you start on that E flat or D sharp, that is the minor version. Okay, so that's what it sounds like. I just wanted to come on here and say that, but yeah, sorry about the interruption. Back to the video. Okay, so that's how you find it. Just for fun, let's do one more down here. Let's pick I don't know, like A flat or something. A flat. So I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to spell out the A flat scale. And here's a little trick. I like to do this. If you can only use each letter name once in a scale, right? So what you can do is just write out all your letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then it repeats and repeats. And then you can put in your sharps or flats, right? So we have a B flat, we have an E flat, we have an A flat I already put on there, and we have a D flat. Okay? Okay. So it's going to be the same process. We are going to get rid of 4 and 7, and what we're left with, A flat, B flat, C, E flat, and F. Okay, And then let's do it the other way, just for good measure. A flat. What's a fifth away? E flat. What's a fifth away? B flat. F. And finally, C. Okay. Put them in concert order. We have an A flat. We have a B flat. We have a C. We have an E flat. Don't mind all the lines. And we have an F, right? So exact same, just two different ways to do it, okay? So that is the major pentatonic. That's how you find it. And in this little corner right here, let's do one more thing. So we talked about major. I'm going to write out C, D, E, F. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. C, D, E, G, A. Okay. This is the C major pentatonic. Okay. Now, the easy way to, there is a minor version of this, but it's just like your majors and natural minors. There are relative majors and minors, and they're the exact same. So I know that if you're looking at a C scale, or the key of C, whatever, the relative minor is A minor. Okay, so that means if you have a C scale, no sharps or flats, you can use those same notes, just start on an A, and you'll have an A natural minor. They use the same notes, it's the same key, just depending where you start, okay? Excuse me. So, simple as that, same thing for the pentatonic. If I wanted an A minor pentatonic, I can take my C pentatonic and just start on A. It's the same thing, A, C, D, E, G. And all of a sudden, you have an A minor pentatonic. Okay, so as simple as that, it's the same exact notes. You're just starting on a different note. Okay, so that's the gist of how you find it. Now, how the heck do you play it? What does it look like on the guitar? So this is a lot of mumbo jumbo. Let's get to the actual fretboard here. And I'm going to split this right down the middle, just so we have two. You know what? I'm going to use the thicker pen here. Okay, so let's talk about pentatonic. Now, there's multiple ways you can play these scales, okay? That was a mistake. The most common starting point is looking at the minor pentatonic scale shape, okay? And it's probably the most used in guitarist repertoire, right? When you start off and you want to learn how to solo over some rock music or some pop music, this is a fantastic scale to get you started, okay? So I'm going to do the A minor pentatonic, okay? So we're going to start here on the 5th fret, low E string, reach up here for 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. And if you want, you can grab this 4 up here. This is your root note. This is your root note. This is your root note. Okay. So what notes are we actually playing if we do this? We have an A. We have a C. We have a D, an E, a G, and an A, right? So there's one octave. C, D, E, G, A. There's your second octave. And then if you wanted to go up one step further, there's your top C, okay? So here are your root notes. A, there's the A minor pentatonic. And you can see it's a great beginner scale because each finger covers one fret. Okay? The first finger never leaves that fret, the 5th fret. The 4th finger never leaves the 8th fret. Right? You don't even have any 2s here. The 3rd finger is always on this fret. Okay, so it's an easy place to start off and just get the pattern memorized. And the cool thing about this is we have talked about the blues scale, but just to show it here, we're 1 note away from having a blues scale here, right? There's a lot of names for this and ways to do it and all that stuff, but another name for this is a gapped blues scale. Okay, why? Because we're just omitting these blue notes right here. Okay, so we're creating gaps, and all of a sudden we have a minor pentatonic. Okay, so get the minor pentatonic down, you're just 2 notes away in 2 octaves. So really 1 note away to playing your blues scale. So anyway, that's that. So it's a great way to start off and all that. So knowing that the major and minor are the same exact notes means that you can use this. I call it an A minor pentatonic, right? Because we're starting on an A. But that doesn't mean you can't use this shape and just start on the C, right? You can easily end on a C. Let's go look at the actual notes, right? You can start on a C, end on a C. All of a sudden, you're playing a C major pentatonic because it's the same notes. Just a matter of where your starting point is, okay? There is another way to play this though, and it's I won't say easy. I'm not going to say advanced, and I might even say it's a little less than intermediate. It's between easy and intermediate, okay, just because of the pattern here. But it's instead of staying in a box, it's starting here and going up the neck. Okay, so it's a useful tool if you need to traverse the neck instead of staying in one little box here. So I'm going to call this the C major pentatonic. And this one I like to start on the 5th for whatever reason. That's just what I like to do. You don't have to, but that's how I'm going to draw it here just to show the full scale. Okay, so if we're looking at C, right, 3rd fret is a G. There's your 5th. Not that you have to do that, but 3. We're going to go to the next string. 1, 3, slide to 3. Okay. 1, 3. 1, 3, slide 3. Maybe I'll leave this in here. 1, 3. 1, 3, slide to 3. Okay, so as you can see, this whole thing is just straight up the neck, right? You start on the low E string and you end on the high E string. So what are these actual notes we're playing here? Well, we've got a G, we've got an A, C, D, E. And you see this pattern continues, right? It's 2, 3. Same thing here. G, A, C, D, E, right? 2, 3. Of course, the B string messes the thing up because it's a 3rd instead of a 4th, but that's okay. G, A, C, D, E. Okay, so where are the root notes? We have a C here. We have a C here. We have a C here. Okay, C, C, C. So I like to start on the fifth just because it's, I mean, if we're just talking about C, it gives you the full range of the guitar. So you don't have to omit that bottom string. But you can, you can do this on any, you don't have to start on the fifth. If you wanted, you could just start on your C, and it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And that pattern stays for all the scales. Okay, so just for fun, let's do a G major pentatonic. So if I wanted to start on a fifth, I would have to start way up here. D, E, and then there's your G, okay? But let's not do that. Let's start on your low E string. So we got a G major pentatonic, okay? So we're going to start here this time. Same starting point as your C, right? But we're going to slide on this string instead. Why? Well, because a G major pentatonic is G, B, or no, it's not. Right? It's G, A, B, D, E. Okay? How do I know that? I just took the G major scale and I omitted the fourth and the seventh. Okay? So let's keep the pattern going. Down here. 1, 3, 3 slide. And I forgot to erase this. There we go. Then we're going to go to the next string. 1, 3. So you see it's still 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, whatever. It just keeps repeating. So we have 1, 3, slide 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, slide 3, and then finally a 1, 3. Okay? Check that out. We start on the same spot if you want. We end on the same spot. The pattern's flipped around, right? You have 3 on the first string, 2 on the next string, 3 on the next one, then 2. Whereas this is 2, 3, 2, 3. It's just a matter of how you want to use it. Knowing what you're starting on. Are you starting on the tonic, right? The 1. If you are, you have to do 3. Same here. If you wanted to start on C, you're going to do 3 on the first string. Okay? So if you're starting on the tonic, always go with 3. If you're starting on the fifth, always go with 2. Right? This is a D right here. Or actually, let's write out the notes here. What do we have here? If we start on a G, we have a G, A, B, D, E, G, A, B, D, E, G, A, B, D, E. Okay. Root note, root note, root note. Okay, so if you're starting on the tonic, always go 3. If you're starting on the fifth, you always go 2. No matter what string you're on, right? That's just the pattern. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I think that's enough. Just to be safe, I'll draw this out so you have it and you know what it looks like if you're ever looking for it. But C major pentatonic, and then it repeats. Okay. G. Okay, that's 2 octaves. And we're looking at C, A, C to A. Okay. I think that's enough info for today. I liked this. I kind of like the iPad. It does make it clearer. Well, maybe not, the ideas on the page might not be clearer, but I think it's easier to read. And I already have these graphs drawn up, so I don't have to draw staves and fretboards. So I think I might keep doing this. I kind of like this. So anyway, hopefully you learned something today. We had a little bit of history around it, how to find it, the shapes you want to use on the guitar, 2 ways to do it really, and you can use either. It's just totally a matter of what note you're starting on, and that'll determine, are you playing a minor or are you playing a major? Okay, that's it. That's all I got. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.